Hi, I am Vitold, and as promised, here is my comparison between the new BMW F900GS and its predecessor, the F850GS, that is visibly, significantly and obviously different. That's both on the outside and on the inside, so it rides differently and it feels different. But it's also slightly more, the new one, it's got it slightly more similar to other motorcycles in the mid-size adventure segment. So is that better? Or not necessarily? Should you run and get a lease on the new one, or should you just take your cash from under the bed and go ahead and get a used F850GS? I think I may have an answer to that. Let me break this video down into 3 parts. First, with what's the same, second with the differences, and the third with answers to the questions and a conclusion. There aren't so many similarities, as the 900 is a really new model here and not just a mild refresh. We've got still the same wheel sizes with 21-inch rims in the front and 17-inch rims in the rear. There are the same switches on the handlebar that do an okay job. There's the same display, which I believe is not a perfect way of improving things, obviously, and I've mentioned that in my full honest review of the 900. Check that video out too. In terms of equipment, some things are now gone. Surprise, surprise, brother. So this is not the perfect part of the story, but we still can have keyless access and fuel cap. I love these. Front LED light that in the new model is allegedly giving more light. Tire pressure monitoring system is available there. Heated grips and cruise control. What's gone will be mentioned in the upcoming part with the differences. Now, one unresolved topic till today is whether the suspension travel remains the same or it is now increased. There has been a discrepancy on BMW's websites in different languages that would state different numbers in regard to front and rear wheel travel, and it appears that it stayed the same all the way till 2024, which is ridiculous, and it's causing plenty of confusion. My conclusion? They don't know themselves at BMW, sorry, but based on which website one visits, they will understand that the travel is either unchanged now, with the new model at 23 centimeters in the front and 21.5 in the rear, or they will see that it has suddenly grown, it's increased. At the end of the day, no one will ever know, I guess, so I'm putting it in the middle right here of the video, and now let's dig into the differences, as this is where the missing parts start to appear as well. You be the judges if it's the right direction. What the bike has lost is some weight, actually a significant amount of it, which is a positive kind of loss, until you realize that by default it comes, for example, without a center stand or a rear rack, which you be the judges. It reminds me of the eco narrative, so in the name of saving the planet, we will take away some of the nicer amenities from you and claim that it's in the name of helping us all prevent the apocalypse. Not so sure. Anyway, losing 14 kilograms is a big achievement, and the weight is now down from 233 kilograms to 219 kilograms. Do I feel it? Not so much in terms of making a deadlift with the bike, but there may be one area where this can be felt more. Performance. And I'm liking that. How have they done it? There is a lighter swing arm. There is a lighter front light. There is no tail lamp at all. Now that's a saving. Isn't that the way to do it? Let's remove the engine maybe, or the front or the rear wheel. Well, who needs that? There's also a lighter battery, a smaller and now plastic fuel tank, lighter exhaust can, frame, and likely some other less relevant, less significant parts too. Then here's where we've got some gains on paper as well. A larger engine, now with 895 cubic centimeters as opposed to 853 cubic centimeters. Then more torque by 1 Newton meter from 92 to 93 Newton meters. But increase in power is significant. It's up from 95 to 105 horsepower. That's it for the paper data, but the real life experience of the performance gains is freaking huge. This thing now rides like a completely different motorcycle with a wholly different engine that isn't just adequate now and fine, but it is a bloody erection impossible to stop now. That's not the end of it, as if you opt for a Riding Modes Pro Pack, you will get a dynamic riding mode that makes all the engine responses visibly sharper. And to me, well, even nicer than in a standard road mode. This bike then goes bananas and acceleration causes much more emotion than before. There's a lot of flexibility now, up to some speeds, which previously it wasn't there. And overall performance is a humongous improvement now. As another difference, combine it with the new exhaust can from Akrapovic that sounds pretty fine, and in dynamic riding mode, it gives even more thrill. And the final effect, well, it makes me happy. The quick shifter in the 900 is perfect too, which I do appreciate. I haven't paid so much attention to it in the 850, while in the 900 it is a pure pleasure to use. Now, what's next? A drama, my dear gentlemen and lovely ladies, a smaller fuel tank by half a liter. So from 15 liters down to 14.5 liters now. I wouldn't say that it's a significant downgrade, but a downgrade it may be overall. And an upgrade, on the other hand, is there in terms of the height of the seat. That's literally up from 86 to 87 centimeters now. Well, I am 1 meter 83 centimeters tall, which is 6 feet tall. And somehow it doesn't actually make me all that happy. And I liked it better in the previous F850GS with that 1 centimeter lower seat. There are lowered seats available for both motorcycles, for both of these giraffes, should I say, so worry you not. To experience true perfection in terms of comfort, if that's what you're after, get yourself a 7G11 electric office chair like mine, this black beauty. It comes also in other colors. You can get these at powerseats.eu and it's a bloody dream again. Then the motorcycle seat comfort may be better, I think, in the older 850GS, as the seat feels a little bit softer in my opinion. The one in the new 900 is very nicely shaped to match my own butt, for example, but it appears as overall harder, so I prefer the softer one in the 850 here. Both are for some unknown reason angled forward, and I don't like that in both motorcycles, nothing to do about that. At the same time, we're getting a higher handlebar now in the 900 that with the Enduro Pro Pack that this 900 is equipped with. In that bike it is installed even further up, and I expect that the bikes with this pack will make for the majority of sales, so this may be an important part to take into consideration. The height of the bars is in both motorcycles still okay for me, and I cannot tell which one I would prefer more actually. However, there is one more thing which seems to be the lower foot pegs in the newer 900GS that, on the other hand, I feel suit me more. Also, the gear and brake levers are mounted in a very nice position and nice spots in the 900, making knee angle really comfortable for me. I have a feeling that the sitting position is fine on both of these for someone built like myself, and I cannot point actually to a better one, so it's a tie here. Also, lower is my judgment of the decision of removing an adjustable windshield. That's a ridiculous move and a clear cloud behind someone's eyes who came up with this idea at BMW. Not only have they given us no adjustment now in the 900, but also a shit windshield in this bike. It's, in my opinion, by default, much better in the 850. Aftermarket ones may solve it, but what the hell? It's a little bit of a bummer, if not a big bummer. Then we got a few more points, like the look of the bike that appears as much narrower now, and that's a good feeling in this class of middle-sized adventure motorcycles. It now looks less bulky, also sitting on it and looking from the up in comparison to the F850GS. Nice. Can we say the same about the lack of the front asymmetrical light now? I think so, even despite it making the 900 look more ordinary and generic, like many other motorcycles. And I elaborate more on that in my full review, but I do feel that the 900 looks so much better than the outgoing 850. It's like comparing Tesla Model 3 to a Tesla Model Y. Something is just not exactly right with the Y. And the same applies to the 900 and 850GS. What we get extra now is that horizontal bar above the display to mount whatever you want to mount there. Well, I wonder if it being there is actually the reason for no windshield adjustment. Hopefully not. Now, getting to suspension, there's new front suspension, while with the Enduro Pro Pack, you're getting even more advanced front and rear suspension with crazy adjustments. front end doesn't dive as much as it used to in the new bike, at least with that Enduro Pro Pack suspension that this bike has. I haven't ridden an F900GS without it. What it means at the same time is that BMW have dropped the ESA, so electronically adjustable suspension in the 900, while the 850 can have it or could have it. All right, we've got lots of manual adjustments, but you've got to know what you want to do in order to play with all that successfully. So I guess it's for real pros. Till now in the 850, the rest of us could have just pressed a switch and play with the setting. So I wonder if it's better or worse now, but I do like the idea of electronically adjustable suspension more myself. So there you have it in the 850. And on top of that, it's now stiffer, I think. 850 felt softer and more comfy to me, still being composed and under control. And then an even older 800GS, that bike is one of the smoothest riding motorcycles ever. So there is a trend of making this model more and more sporty and less comfy at the same time in terms of suspension. Do I like that? No, I don't. So you've got some thinking here, guys. Big thinking. Now, do you prefer to glide over bumps or first strengthen your back at the gym in order to do a similar thing on the newer 900? One more thing is that likely the new 900 handles slightly better, likely due to lower weight. It's not an automatic conclusion, always connected with weight, but bottom line is that handling of both bikes is quite good and they are cooperative both, in my opinion. There are better motorcycles in this area within the segment, I think. Now, between 850 and the 900, I'm not sure which one is better here. I do suppose that the 900 should be slightly better just because of its, well, lower weight and higher suspension stiffness that in some circumstances may mean more stability and surely less flexing of the suspension. In the end, there is one more very big difference between the two that I've noticed, and it's the general impression and feel that in the 850 is to me of just being a budget real GS. But in the new 900, it is very much premium due to how it looks, and therefore there is this alpha male impression that you may be getting when riding it. I would say that this makes, or it can make, a big difference, and to me it actually does. I don't want to say that the 850 might be sort of lame, despite literally just having said that, but to me the 900 is really cool and its engine performance is out of this world in comparison to the 850. For this alone, I would already choose this bike, the 900. However, I do prefer the comfortable suspension on the 850 and its wind protection with adjustment available and the electric adjustment of the suspension. Now, knowing all this, I hope that it helps you in making a better informed decision on what you may expect from the two. Remember that we are all different. All of this is subjective to a point. So make sure that you test ride every motorcycle that you consider before buying it. All opinions may serve as a good indication of what to pay attention to later, but in the end, it's about what you guys like and what you value the most. There's also a head-to-head comparison of this new F900GS and the new R1300, or it's coming soon, so make sure to check it out as there are some interesting similarities there. See you in that video.